All right guys, check this out. So there's been something out there on the market that I've been kind of excited about, and finally I went ahead and got one, and it's a C-Clear Power wiring harness. And I know a lot of the big guys run them, you know, Lee Livesay and Jacob Wheeler and Dustin Cannell, and just a bunch of those guys run these things, and they just keep talking about how much clearer it is, how much clearer their picture is, how much better they can see things on their sonar, whatever kind. You guys know I run Lowrance, but whatever kind you're running, you know, if you're running Garmin or Humminbird or Lowrance or whatever, they say that these wiring harnesses, they just cut down on all the interference, and it just is a way clearer picture. So I finally got one. Here it is. It just showed up. I mean, this thing, dude, this thing is heavy. I mean, the whole thing, I mean, like you can tell, it is really heavy. So I got my 22 Falcon F21 Predator right here, and we are fixing to, as Luna's standing there, say hi, Luna. Luna's standing there. So we are fixing to install this in there, and I am gonna kind of walk you guys through the paces as we put this in, and we'll see. I took some videos yesterday when I was out, and we'll see how much better and how much clearer this actually is. So check it out, here we go. So here you can get a real good idea of how this lays out. So obviously that's your power and your ground going to your battery. And then you got this massive shielded, like I said, I think it's 8 gauge. I'm not even sure exactly what it is. It is so heavy you wouldn't believe it. But this is going, so that's going to go obviously to that unit. That's the unit at the console. And then this is where it splits. And then this is going to run up to my unit on the front. And then obviously I'm going to hook my Lowrance active target into it too. So it'll all be running off that giant power wire. So now we are going to fish it through the boat just like that. So we basically have it run all the way through the boat now. As you just saw it, we had it laid out. So here's the 2 power wires, and you can see they're connected just with that super easy connection right there. We don't obviously have it hooked to the battery yet, as we're just hooking it up. Imagine that, there's a Miller Lite sitting right there. That's how we work around here. But we got it run all the way through. We took this little panel off, we already put it back on, took this little panel off so we could reach in there, fed it up through there, and then you can see it runs. Get up here, and here's where it's coming out, just like this. We got 2 of the C-Clear Power fuses running in, and look at these connections from C-Clear Power. I mean, dude, you want to talk about mega heavy duty? That's mega heavy duty stuff right there. You always want to make sure you connect the yellow wire from the 16 from your unit to your active target sonar module. That way, that's what tells it to wake up, you know, and that way the active target doesn't run all the time. But anyway, you got the C-Clear Power, got it coming up here. It's going into the active target, going into the 16. I'm going to get all this buttoned up. You'll see it in just a second. All right, guys, so here's the final step of the process of installing the C-Clear Power wiring harness on my 22 Falcon F21 Predator. You can see I got both Lowrance 16s on their Bass Boat Technologies mounts, all put back together. And now the final thing is just to hook it up to the battery. So this is the wiring harness coming out. You can see that thing's a beast. So I'm gonna hook the giant fuses back to it, and we're gonna hook it to the battery. So you can see these big connections. They've got a little spreader deal inside there. And see how that is kind of spread out. That's how all these big heavy duty connections on the C-Clear Power thing, and see how it goes in there like that. So basically all your wires are making connection all the way around on this connector. So I mean, this connector, this is the coolest thing as far as electric goes. I've seen a couple things that were a little bit cooler, but as far as electrical connections go, this is the coolest thing. And you tighten that thing down. I mean, and I got some big old meat claws, so you can see how big that thing is. I mean, and that is hammer tight. Same thing, see on that? how that expands all the way around, and you can see that little deal in the middle. When you put that together, that's making all those strands of that wire in there all making good connection. So we screw those down nice and tight. Make sure this one's nice and tight. That is not ever coming off of there. So we've got our positive, our negative, or earth if you want to call it that, and our hot. So the other thing we want to do now, the last thing, is we're going to unhook the battery. There's two things we got going on here. So I'm going to take my lock nuts. I always run lock nuts on my battery, always. I run battle-born batteries for my trolling motor, for my Lowrance trolling motor. And then I run an AGM 31 series for my cranking battery, and that's what we're hooking the C-Clear power to the cranking battery. So as you can see right there, we've got all the power was coming off of this side of the battery terminal, and we're going to have the C-Clear power coming off this side, and it's just going to wrap around here, and then we're going to do the same thing over here on the ground side. We're going to keep all these coming off one direction, and we're going to have the ground wire coming off the other. All right, guys, so it's all fired up. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to put some ice in the boat. We've already got gassed up. We're already charged up. We're ready to go. We're going to go put this thing in the water and see exactly how clear the C-Clear power wiring harness makes our Lowrance units. Here we go. Well, I can tell you this. It is amazing, the detail. I mean, everything, the side scan, everything is just so crisp. Look at that. I mean, that's amazing. See these two fish right there, just two singles. I mean, this is, I can't believe I haven't done this before now. I mean, this is crazy. I feel stupid for I don't know how long C-Clear Power has had these wiring harnesses out. I feel stupid for not getting one till just now.